My official prediction for Gane versus Volkov. You want to know what a coach did to me one time? We finished wrestling practice, and the coach is talking to the group, Roy Pittman. And he's in front of the group, and the Super Bowl's coming up. This is Friday after practice. Super Bowl's going to be on Sunday. And he goes around the room and asks each guy who's going to win. So all of us kids, everybody's giving their opinion. I remember it was the Broncos playing somebody. And the Broncos versus the Bengals. Was that ever a Super Bowl? So when he's all done, he tells us he knows who is going to win. We all lean forward, my God. And if Coach Pittman told you something, that was it. So if he says he knows who's going to win, we all lean, oh my God, Coach knows who's going to win. He's sure of it. He's positive. Do you want to know? We all say, yeah. He says, do you really want to know? Do you want me to spoil it for you? He builds this up with, yeah, please. He says, I assure you, whoever has more points when time runs out, that's who's going to win. And he never broke character. He never smiled beyond this. He was dead. He was dead serious. And it turned out he was right? I mean, another one for Coach Pittman. But when you break down Gane and Volkov, in many ways, I got to defer back to what Coach Pittman said, whoever has more points when time runs out, because this is a very similar fight. Anytime you talk about Volkov, it's going to be very boring and lazy because you're going to talk about his reach advantage. Anytime you talk about Gane, it's going to be very boring and lazy because you're going to talk the power if he gets inside and just hits you one time. It's one of these things. However, I feel there's a little bit more to the story. These guys both prefer to strike over anything else. And Volkov, I was late to the party. Now, I'm a believer. I'm a believer on Volkov, but I wasn't. He looks gangly out there. He looks awkward out there. If you can get to his hips, you're probably going to get him down to the mat. He has a hard time once he's on the mat mounting an offense. He does. He has a hard time. I get that he's good with triangles. I get that he's good with guillotines, but he has a hard time setting some of those things up, and he has a more difficult time getting an underhook, getting to an opposite hip, scrambling, and getting back up to his feet. So if the fight ever hits the mat, you generally go, okay, well, we're done for this round. He's not going to get up. And historically, I'm right. That's generally what happens. But he knows what I just said is true. And he is working on that. And you do see improvements, right? You do see, Curtis Blades would be a fine example. You see improvements where he's doing a better job. And by no means is Gane great on top. That's just not where he wants to be. So anything that you've seen of Volkov in the past where he gets his hips sucked in and he gets taken down and then he's stuck there for the round, I think you got to throw it out. I mean, I got to think, as far as groundwork goes and be able to mount an offense and execute some of the things that you worked on in the practice room, Gane's the perfect opponent. So I'm not sure if we close our eyes and try to think back and envision what's going to happen here, that we're going to have a fair depiction of what is going to happen if Gane gets on top of Volkov, which, by the way, I don't even think he's going to try to do. It's not what Gane does. Okay, looks at the other side of the coin. Because Volkov can grapple a little bit, right? Don't forget, this guy's from Russia. They learn how to grapple in Russia in the school systems. You guys probably can't relate to it. When you're in the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, you're in Sambo, Judo, or wrestling as PE class throughout the entire country. So he's got some level of grappling, but he's nice and long, and he prefers to stay up here. What I'm suggesting for you is it is a little bit of a different fight. It does default back, yes, to the laziness of a reach for Volkov and the insight and the power of Gane. It defers back to one of those very lazy and basic narratives. But Gane's not afraid to get in there and mix it up. And he's got some more tools than just a kickboxer. He uses tools more of like a Muay Thai fighter because he's very good with the knees and he's very good with the elbows. You might remember the fight with Junior Dos Santos. Junior Dos Santos, former champion of the world. It was an elbow strike. The elbow strike was so damn hard, Junior didn't know where he was, to the point that he argued what was happening on the monitor and went and filed a complaint with the Nevada State Athletic Commission saying that it was an illegal blow. I mean, only say that's how hard he got hit. This guy is a powerhouse, but Volkov's way up here. Are you going to hit the son of a bitch? It's an interesting fight. Both of these guys, they're going to have to get to their offense, period. Right? The same as Coach Pittman says. You want to know who's going to win? Whoever has more points than time runs out. It's whoever gets to their offense. One of these guys is going to take charge, and it's either Gane by getting inside and doing damage and staying there. Very similar to the way Vettori had success in his fight with Adesanya, where his successful moments came as when he got within his range and he stayed busy. Same thing goes the other side, though, with Volkov. Much like Adesanya, when he had excess with Vettori, was keeping him at the end of the punches, not letting him inside, using that footwork and moving around. So my official prediction, I'm going to go Gong. Gong's undefeated. He's on a hell of a roll. Recently, he's got a win over a former world champion. I think that Rosenstruck, while different body type than Volkov, is the same fighter as Volkov. So in many ways, Gong has had double the training camp. He's prepared for the same guy twice, stylistically. Is that a good analysis? Who the hell knows? I'm seldomly right anyway. I'm taking Gong.